Hi, my name is Rick Reeves. I am 50 years old, and my occupation is I am a co-owner of a family business, Reeves Cake Shop. We're in Akron, Ohio, and we do specialty cakes. We like to do sculpted cakes, just traditional birthday, wedding, anything out of the ordinary is just right up our line. We also do cookies and pastries. And what's the first question?
What is your personality like?
I'm very outgoing. I enjoy life. I enjoy working. I enjoy working long hours and playing. So I like to just be happy in everything I do.
All right. Well, how would your friends describe you?
My friends would just pretty much the same way. I'm very likable. I just have a good time. I don't lose my cool very often, so they don't see that side of me. I really don't lose it that often. So,
toughest critics?
Toughest critics would probably be my interviewer right here. Sometimes I'm a little stubborn. Maybe if I think it should go this way, I'll push a little bit more for this. That would probably be, I would say, my downfall, maybe.
I'd add a little bossy.
Okay, bossy.
Okay, what's your best and worst quality?
My best quality is I do stick to it. So if it's a hard problem, you just keep going through it. You keep going through it and get it done. My worst quality probably is I'm a little messy. You know, if a job needs done, I get it done. I don't worry about the mess. Someone can clean that up later. But overall, I think it's, you know, that I really want to get the job done and get it done right.
All right, well, what pushes your buttons?
Slow, lazy. I would say if you're a baker, you're never sitting down. Here I am sitting down. But as my mother, who's a baker also, always said, you know, a good baker never sits down, you're always moving.
All right, well, you spoke of your mother. What about your background and your upbringing?
I grew up in a baker's family. My mother was a baker. My grandparents were bakers. They owned bakeries in the 1920s. So most of the recipes, gosh, are, you know, almost 100 years old because they've been passed down through the years.
Okay, how do you feel you react to criticism?
I don't like criticism. Who does? You just try to get over it and move on to the next project because, you know, you can have 100 great responses from a cake and all it takes is one little criticism and but you look at everything else and, you know, if we do 400 weddings a year and we get one little complaint, I'll take that.
Okay. Have you watched any episodes of The Next Great Baker?
No, I have not. I've seen maybe a little bit of snippet going through, but I don't get to watch that much TV.
From the snippets you've seen, do you feel your skills are better than previous contestants?
I haven't seen enough, but I would say they're up to par, maybe even better. Sure.
Okay. What about your food industry experience? Have you gone to culinary school or your jobs, or are you self-taught?
No, I'm pretty much self-taught. Like I said, I came from this background and just knew it growing up. I have attended different classes and I've taken a Swiss chocolate class, different things like that. But really, everything I've learned on the job. I'm kind of an old school baker. I'd say we're old, but you know, that's my upbringing. Everything is from scratch. We don't use mixes. We just do it the right way.
This is kind of the same question. Do you have cake decorating, baking, or pastry experience? List all your relevant experience.
Well, my relevant experience is working on the job. If you don't know how to do it, especially in today's age, you can go on the internet, you can find any answer you want. But, you know, 20 years ago you had a problem, you had to look it up, you had to investigate, it just took a lot more time. Now it's very easy to find answers for things.
Okay, well, how are you at your construction and technical abilities, and what's your hardest cake you've designed?
Construction abilities, we do a good job with that. Same thing, you know, anytime you have a project, you figure out the best design, how to make it stable. So each cake you do is sometimes a little bit different. The hardest cake, was it the hardest cake?
Mm-hmm. Or one of them.
The hardest cake probably, the decorating really wasn't bad, it was just so high. It was, I think it was 9 tiers, and each tier was separated by 5-7 inch pillars. So it was very, very high cake, and I'm 5'7", even standing on a 6-foot ladder, I could barely reach the top tier, and it was just, you know, very, very hard for me to reach. But it worked out great. There was a mirror behind it. It was beautiful.
That was a pretty cake. Is there any specific genre of food or desserts you like to bake or cook?
Well,
And what kind do you hate?
Well, cake, of course, we love to do cakes and cookies, especially at Christmas time. We do probably 25 different varieties of cookies, and it's always a neat time. Then you're shifting gears not so much into cake, but more into cookies and pastries and things. So I do enjoy that. What kind don't I like?
Right.
I like pretty much everything.
What do you don't like to bake?
What don't I like to bake? I would say... What? Oh. Yes, she is right. I don't like to bake bread. We don't do bread here. We don't do donuts or pies. I love donuts and I love pies, but I don't like doing it. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we know you're creative when you make cake designs. We've seen some of your examples. But what are your most creative designs, like sculpted, things like that? Or have you won competitions?
Yeah, we've won some different competitions. We've been to bridal shows where we've entered cakes. There's cake contests and things like that. We've won numerous times with that. We've been at different conventions where we've taken a cake. Trying to think of something. We do a, what was the rest of part of that question?
What are your creative designs?
Creative designs. We do a lighted rose cake. We did enter that in a competition at a baker's convention, and it won one year. And it's you decorate it with the roses, but you've got the wires in it. It's about 35 lights, and the roses actually light up. It's beautiful. You have a little bit of an evening reception, and it just really, really pops.
What about your 3D designs? What things have you done for that?
3D designs, probably the same as everyone else. Most popular is cars, of course. We've done cars, we've done tanks, we've done animals. We're doing a frog Friday. So we do a lot of different cutouts. Sometimes we do different versions. We do them if they really want it fancy, we'll do it in fondant to get the detail. If they don't really want to spend that much money, then we'll do it in whipped cream, and you can do a really nice job in whipped cream also.
Okay, well, do you have any interesting details that make you stand out?
We try to please, the customer. If a customer comes in with a design, we don't try to necessarily lead them another way. We try to work with them and get them exactly what they're asking for.
Okay, well, where do you get your recipes?
Recipes, most of them go back. Like I said, my grandparents, we do update. We have a gluten-free. Here's a gluten-free cake. We had cake tasting tonight. We have this every other month on a Wednesday evening. This is a gluten-free cake. But we try different things. If the dietary restrictions, because we bake from scratch, we can change sometimes the recipes so that we can accommodate the customer.
All right. How would you rate your skill level when it comes to baking?
Baking? Oh, I think I'm an excellent baker.
Okay, from scratch.
From scratch,
That's
obviously.
true. Decorating in traditional buttercream.
Traditional buttercream, sure. Icing, borders, flowers, roses. Writing, but overall I would say good to excellent.
Okay, fondant techniques.
Fondant techniques, I do well in fondant. I enjoy fondant. We don't do as much fondant here as I would like, just the area. People prefer the whipped cream or buttercream taste. But when we get the opportunity, we might have 8 weddings on a weekend, and one of them would be in fondant, so I really enjoy working on the fondant.
Okay, and what about your pastries and dessert expert?
Pastries and desserts. Pastries, when I'm talking pastries, it's more in the cookie line, pecan tarts, kifli, things like that. That's what we do here, as even with like a chocolate chip cookie, just your basic cookies into your fancy. Beyond that, the other kinds of pastries, rolls and things like that, I would say average, because we don't do too much of that.
Okay. How would you rate your decorating skills when under time constraints, and are you usually happy with the end result?
Excellent. I am to work under time constraints, I do a great job. The stress or pressure, it doesn't really bother me. You work right through it. And what was the other part of that?
Are you happy with the end result?
Generally, yeah, I'm always happy with it, otherwise I wouldn't send it out.
Okay, well, what in your opinion makes a great cake decorator?
Someone that sticks to it. Like I said, no sitting down. That's our number one rule, no sitting down. You're always on the move, you're always working. If you are done, move on and help someone else. If you're done with this decorating and this one needs iced, go right to it. You don't need to stand around and ask, what else should I do? You need to be moving.
Okay, what makes someone a bad decorator?
Just the opposite. Lazy, sitting, doing a border, really slow, or, you just got to work.
Okay, well, what do you think, a quick fire baker challenge, how do you think you'd handle that?
Okay, quick fire, I'm assuming it's just a real quick challenge, maybe. That I would do great in. That, I love, especially anything physical challenges, I like all that, so bring it on. That's
Okay,
great.
what about working in a group?
I work in a group every day. It's a family bakery, so we're around the same people every day. We work together, and of course, there's this way's better, but my way's generally better.
Do you see any weaknesses that you have in either of those categories?
Sometimes my way is not always better, but I think it is.
All right. What kind of role do you generally play in groups?
I can do both. If no one's just stepped up and ready to go, and I have an idea, that's what I'll push for. If it's somebody does have a great idea, hey, I'm all behind them and ready to go.
All right. Are you competitive in nature?
Oh, absolutely. In everything I do, whether it's in a bakery, if we're competing in a contest, or just doing a really nice cake for a customer, I might be doing something and someone else might be doing, I won't mind to look better. In life, I like to work out. I work out with guys, in their 20s and 30s, and, I can beat them in everything.
All right. If you're up against other contestants, will you be competitive in order to win the life-changing cash and prizes?
Will I be? Of course. That's what I'm here for. Sure.
How far will you go to win the
How
game?
far will you go? I don't cheat, but I push it to the wall.
Are you better at competing head-to-head or teaming up?
Oh, it doesn't really matter. Head-to-head, then it's on me. I need to do the best I can. If you're teaming up, hey, as long as you got a great team, if you got a stinker in the team, you work around that. But sure.
Can you put on a good act if you're working with people you don't like, or is it hard for you to hide your feelings?
I like just about everyone. Even if you're lazy, I'll still like you. I might not like the way you work, but I'll still like you.
All right. Well, you haven't seen many competition shows, but there are type personalities.
Okay.
There are the sweetheart, the drama queen, the type A personality. What would you be?
Probably a type A. I'm not a sweetheart. Well, yeah, I am a sweetheart. Everybody likes me, but not like them. But I want to go. So.
Okay. How do you handle stressful situations?
Stress is part of baking. I could tell you a quick story. We did a cake probably about 15 years ago. The country club didn't lock the tables. The table fell. $1,500 cake on the floor. They put me in a room, locked the doors. I had to work on that cake for 2 or 3 hours, no running water, dim lights, and with the bride and her mom walking around trying the doors and asking the country club, when's the cake coming? When's the cake coming? Long story short, cake worked out great. We put it in the corner, a little bit dimmer, and the bride never knew. The mom was so appreciative. It wasn't our fault, but we took care of it, and things worked out great.
Great. What does baking and cake decorating mean to you, and has it ever gotten you through a hard time?
What does it mean to? It's pretty much my life. I've done it my whole entire life. I took lessons. I think my mom took me to a place to get lessons when I was like 12. After that, you move on, and I've worked in it my entire life.
All right. Well, why do you want to be on the Net Show?
Why do I just need a new challenge. I'm 50 years old, and do you do the same thing? Even though you're in bridal shows, you're in specialty shows, you're in all different shows, you're doing all these things, and it's always the same thing after a while. So it's neat that I have the opportunity to do something exciting and fun.
And why should you be the next great baker?
Oh, because I am the next great baker.
All right.
All right.
I think you should choose him.
All right. Thank you.